Hey, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. I had a few inquiries about baby Faith and about Dennis too, so I thought we'd do a where are they now video and tell you what I know about how they're getting on. Baby Faith, just to give you an update, was the 3-month, actually she's now 4 months old. She and her very pretty mom, very close, wonderful bond to see between them. The way that the baby interacts with the mom is really truly something of a revelation. Right, so baby Faith first. She went and had a 5-hour operation, very delicate, because she had something that was, gosh, it really was about this big in the back of her, well, in her back, on her spine. And she had, let me see, hydroencephalus. So she's had, now if I'm mispronouncing some of these medical terms, please don't give me a hard time. Okay, I'm doing my best. Hydroencephalus, which is water, excessive fluid into the head. So baby Faith's head is quite a bit bigger than it normally would be. I don't know how that can work out, but she has what I believe they call a shunt, and it goes and it leads, it is inserted into the head, and it is actually draining off fluid, apparently into, and I'm only going third party, apparently into her stomach. I don't know why that would be, but anyway, there is a reason for these things, and they're beyond me right now. So, after the operation, she spent several days in the hospital. We went up and we brought her home. So, she was home for quite a few days. We had some incredible gifts sent to us, empowering us to get the gifts for her. They stipulated that they wanted, and I'm not the one for the names, Beth does all of that, who sent what and how much. But anyway, this is all in the past, since we don't do this anymore, and as we are under a kind of a suspension where we're not allowed to do videos which would imply that we were looking for donations. So just get that out of the way. That's not what the idea of this video is. It's just to tell you the update on how they're doing. She is doing terrific, and you will have seen the visit that our friends Sean and his family, his wife and his 2 girls and their friend Brett, and they wanted to meet baby Faith because they'd seen the videos, and they wanted to meet, and so we took them around. Now, they've been well taken care of with a special crib, with a mosquito net, and some other stuff, you know. So you will have seen the videos where we went round and got that for her, and so they've been well taken care of. We did take baby Faith up to the hospital again to have the stitches out, and it would seem that all is well, even though Mom Marisol was concerned because there seemed to be a lack of mobility in baby Faith's legs. But the surgeon assured her that as some very delicate work had been done on the spine, this was fairly normal, and it could be a while before all of the nerves are operating properly and everything is back to what it should be. I don't think that I'm revealing anything that no one else has seen, but baby Faith has a struggle ahead. I think that this is true. She's got a fight on her hands, and we all need to pray for that little girl. And it's a heartbreaker to go and see. But anyway, we're friends, and we take care of our friends, okay? So I reserve the right, as Beth does, to take care of our friends. I'm not going out in the world and setting up worldwide programs at the moment. We put all that on hold, okay? But our friends we take care of. That brings us to Dennis. So Dennis has had his right leg amputated. Now, if you've seen any of the other you'll see that Beth titled his The Boy with the Giant Leg. It is an oversimplification, but that's what happened. Let me tell you the story about Dennis. Dennis, some years ago, began to develop a tumour in his leg, on the right leg, from the groin down to the knee. I guess it got to a point where he realised he better go to the hospital, and he did, and he had the money to be treated, right? So they were about to have the surgery that was needed to correct this ever-growing tumour that he had in his leg, and that would have been a perfect timing. Unfortunately, his father died at that time, and it hit the family pretty hard, because even though Dennis had managed to save the money for his own operation, the family were pretty poor. So it fell to Dennis, Filipino, in true Filipino style, family is everything, and he gave up the money to have his operation. Now, the reasoning for that was that it wasn't giving him any pain. So I guess he thought that he could put it off and get the money back again. He did it once, and we all know that reasoning is not always great. So quite a few years later, it's creeping up on him, and he's getting used to it. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, until finally, I think it was almost a year ago, Dennis came to us at the church, and with horror we saw that the tumour, not that we knew him in the beginning, we didn't, that the tumour had progressed a great deal, and we took him to see a surgeon. The surgeon did some tests. He had ultrasound and x-rays, and the surgeon said, you're going to have the leg amputated. Now, Dennis at the time was, I think, 27. He's 27 with a life ahead of him, and he has a pretty girlfriend who has stood by him through a lot of this. And he went away to think about it, and he thought about it long and hard, and put it off, because he was somehow getting along. He was riding a motorcycle, and he wasn't in any pain. Well, nothing stays the same, and he finally got back in touch with us when the pain began to be so intense that he was having trouble dealing with it. And once again, we took him to see a surgeon. Well, that was one of the most difficult interviews that I've been to. I've been through a few now with surgeons giving very bad news. But the bad news was that he would have to have the leg amputated still. Well, we hadn't hoped for any change on that. How could it? Because in the year that he's been waiting and trying to come to terms with an amputation, it's got even bigger, and it was truly a giant leg, as Beth so well put. So the surgeon, I guess he must have read my mind, that we were thinking that once the leg was off, that would be it. Well, the surgeon had to tell us some very bad news. He said, look, this is not a cure. I must admit, I just didn't understand at that point. He said, it's not a cure. And I said, he said, it's not going to cure the problem, because the problem has spread much further, and he probably only has about a year to live. So that was the news. We had found the money for Dennis's surgery. The surgeon was going to do it for 40,000, and he made the point that if we had it done in the other hospital, which was private, it would have been probably more than double. So we took Dennis home, and then when he was able to be admitted, we took him back. Now, when you take anybody into hospital, be it baby Faith or Dennis, they have to have people with them. They have to have family with them who can be their support. If medication is needed and they don't have it in the pharmacy in the hospital, which is often the case, then the support team of the person who is sick will have to go out and go to a local pharmacy, which is usually quite near, and get the medication that's needed. There are other things which are very difficult in a public hospital, a government hospital. For instance, if you're going to have an operation, you're going to need a blood transfusion. It has to be standing by. So what do they call them? Platelets or something like that, a bag of blood. And he would need that, as baby Faith needed it too. Well, we gave the money for that to be done. When we went back to see how he was doing, to see him, well, we took him and left him there, and we had other stuff to do, so we left a girlfriend with the money to be able to get a blood transfusion. We don't get it in the hospital. You have to find somebody who is of the same blood type, and they have to come in and take a test, and they've got to be clean, no drugs. So if they're not clean, you start again and find somebody else. And they wouldn't take blood from me for either the baby or Dennis, because I'm too old. Sometimes it sucks being old. Well, all of that out of the way, Beth came back, and his girlfriend said we haven't been able to find anybody to do it. Well, this is where my warrior princess comes into her own. Within minutes, she has been and spoken to the security guard that is on the gate getting into the hospital itself. She said, I need somebody to find blood, to give blood. And she came back, just, it seemed only minutes later, and said, he is on his way. The man arrived. We gave him the warning that he had to be clean. He said, I am clean. And they took him off, and he gave blood. And we paid, I think when we went with someone to Cebu, I think we paid 2,000 or more for a blood transfusion, and that took a lot of finding. I think that was with NISA. Anyway, here we are. A similar thing, but one is with baby Faith, who ironically, coincidentally, also has something wrong with her spine and has a huge growth coming out of it, just like Nisa. It was almost deja vu. So Dennis fixed up. We were then able to leave them and go and get baby Faith. And then we took everybody home. And then the other day, yesterday, was a visit time. Whenever anybody comes to visit us, they're not coming for us to take them to the chocolate hills or go and look at what the best beach is or take them swimming. They're coming to look at what we do. And we count this as being chronicled, as being authentic. So when people come to stay and they share the table, they share food at the table. I suppose in the old days you would call that breaking bread. And they meet Nanai. If they stay for a few days, Lena will even do their laundry for them, and we take care of them. And they are our guests. Nothing is hidden. They are privy to all of the information whenever we go anywhere, and that's usually what they want to do. Well, Sean and his family and Brett did just that. And we took them round to several places. We took them round to what we used to call the pregnant lady, because Brett had bought a stroller. He had seen on one of our videos that the pregnant lady was looking for a stroller. Now, you would think that they were living in such inaccessible places that a stroller would be no good, but that's not true. That's what I thought too. But actually, these women are much more savvy than you might think. A stroller is a safe place for the baby to sit, and he can be moved. And if the mom is doing laundry and it's near the well or something, they can negotiate that with the baby in a safe place to sit. So that's a great thing. And you must have seen the video where Brett gave this lovely stroller that he had bought to the mum, and she was very, very happy. So Dennis, what have we done for Dennis? Well, we've made sure part of getting him home was to go get his medication. Part of getting him home was to get a pair of crutches. We got a pair of crutches. Some time ago we knew this was coming, so we ordered a wheelchair from Lazada. And when we went round yesterday, Sandman Steve had already said, I want Dennis to have a mattress because it must be extremely painful. Now, what was the status of the actual operation? My fear was that it seemed like it would go so far up into the groin that I wondered how dangerous it would be. It just seemed like it would be very dangerous. They've managed to keep it slightly below, but of course we didn't go in asking him to let us see the wound. But he is an incredibly terrific guy. No complaints, no whining, no bitching, no poor me, no how am I going to manage from here on, none of that. Smiling, no problem. We needed to let him go to the toilet. We pulled into a gas station while I got gas, and he got out of the truck, and if you know, it's the Big Blue, it's not easy to get in and out of. He got his crutches and he got in and out of, and he sat in the front with me on a cushion, no complaints. And when he saw me struggling opening a bottle for a drink, he took the bottle and took the cap off and gave it to me. Very brave guy. And when we went round and gave him the mattress, made the gift from the Sandman of the mattress, and the wheelchair was from someone else who, forgive me if I don't know that name now. There's just been a lot to think about just lately. So, that's the update. We are planning, if we can get Dennis to overcome his slight lack of confidence on the motorcycle, obviously with no right leg, he's going to have to be very, very careful if he stops that bike to fall on the left leg, because there's nothing on the other side. Not being facetious or funny there, but it's true. And he smiled when he said, well, I'm nervous about that because on the other side I'll be. So we're planning on taking it to a mechanic, and what we're hoping to do, if I can demonstrate here, this is like a foot brake, okay? This is the foot brake on the right hand side of the bike. when you press on the foot brake, it pivots there. You see it pivoting where my finger is? It pivots. Now, my idea is that we'll take a rod, and in that same place where the pivot was, here, like this, we're going to make it do the same thing. And instead of pressing down with your foot, he's going to push it forward. And he can do that with his right hand. So hand comes off the throttle and he's going to push forward and he'll have a foot brake. So when we come back from vacation, when we are able to do this for a friend as a gift with my money that I worked a long life to have, we're going to do that. We know that I think that Nesta can weld something up very simply on that. Maybe not even take the brake that's existing away. We'll just add something to it so that it pivots in that same way, like this. So that's what we've got organised there. That means he will be totally mobile. If he wants to go on jeepney or something like that, or a van, or probably a bus with a wheelchair, because things are not always disabled friendly here. I haven't got quite that far overall. So he will have the motorcycle to handle being able to go somewhere. So his life is not completely closed down to being in the house or outside and sitting around feeling sorry for himself, which I find hard to believe that he ever would. So both of our guys doing good. Angie, the young girl with the cyst in the back of the head, right about here. She had a cyst that was like almost like a pigeon egg, a little one like this. Now we took her to the doctor. The doctor, the good news, it was a 10,000 peso fee. That's what it should have been. And when we got to the point of paying, he asked only 1,000. 9,000 peso discount. And even the man for Dennis gave us a 5,000. And that was the one who gave us for the cyst removal. That wasn't very long, maybe an hour, so not quite the same as the skilled bone surgeon who gave us a 5,000 peso. So we only, instead of being even 40,000, it was, I think, 35. All that ends well. So thanks for looking in. This is a Foreigner Bill giving you an update on baby Faith, the little baby, Angie, the young girl with a cyst, and Dennis, the amputee. Life is good. Bye for now. You can share this. If you share this, it means that more people find out about what we're doing, what we should be doing, and will be doing again very soon. Nothing can stop good being done. That's my sincere belief. No lies, no accusations, no false stuff at all. The truth always comes out. That's my belief. Bye for now.